Hey, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Virtual Tastings at Whitey's. Tonight, we have Tim Eckels and Carol Gorsuch of Pipe the Side Brewing. We have a million questions to ask them about their space, about the brewery, about their role in the community. So we have a lot to happen. So we're going to go just straight to them. We don't really have any announcements anyway. Tomorrow night, we have everybody that was involved in the collab with 1623 and Jagged Mountain on. Amy Over from Rebels Project, Zach Rasmiller from 1623, and Alyssa Thorpe from Jagged Mountain will all be joining us from Colorado. And then little old me will be in Maryland. So they're ganging up on me, folks. They're ganging up on me. Nevertheless, without further ado, let's bring in Carol and Tim. Oh, hi, Abby. Hi, Abby. Actually, so this woman, Abby. Hopefully, your thing can come up. She used to live across the street from where you guys are. You have a lot. You have a surprising amount of neighbors, which we'll get into, that are from up in that area, which is interesting to me.
Oh, really? Is Abby the one that asked about the Pride Fest beer? I can't remember.
She lives in Massachusetts now.
Yeah, I think so.
So she is actually coming home. I think soon, within the next couple of weeks. She can tell us. Actually, she's watching. And I think she's probably going to visit you guys. Oh, she's answering. See, we already have. See, she's going to be in to visit when she's home again. So that's a few weeks away. Anyway, evening, folks. That was a temporary aside to greet our listeners. How's everything going?
It's going all right. We washed kegs today, so that was not fun.
You did what?
We washed kegs.
Oh yeah, that's always a good time, right?
It is a good time.
When you guys are like, because you're small, obviously you do the bulk of the work, correct?
Yeah, we pretty much do all of it, except for the tap room stuff. We have folks getting more comfortable, kind of running with the tap room, so we don't have to be here when we're open.
Right.
But the behind the scenes stuff is us and Carol's son, who's 19. He comes in and he pretty much works here about 30 hours a week. He helps brew. He's learning a lot, and he's definitely helping out because.
Is he interested in becoming a brewer?
I don't know if he's going to stay here. I think he's interested in potentially
leaving Hampstead.
Yeah, leaving Hampstead, and he's talked about North Carolina. And
okay,
we're like, you're getting a lot of really good experience if that's where you want to go.
But he's interested in becoming a brewer.
I think he's interested in
the business,
the process.
Yeah, he really likes. He's a process guy, and he keeps me on my toes with some of the stuff we got to do.
He did pastry chef baking.
Okay.
At Tech Center in high school.
Right.
So he's basically just liquid baking.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, well, that'd be. Hey, keep it in the family, right? That'd be great if he went down there, learned a little bit more, brought back that knowledge to you guys, and helped out.
Yeah. So we're kind of we're doing everything. I mean, it's you name it, we do it.
Well, that's kind of how big a system do you have?
What size? We're one barrel, so we brew like pretty much constantly.
Right.
And, so yeah, it's a challenge keeping up with everything.
Have you guys been super busy, especially since sort of the COVID restrictions have given up?
Yeah, we're busy-ish. It's up in, Hampstead is an interesting town because you don't know when people are going to come out.
Right.
Because it kind of ebbs and flows with what's going on in the area. But we started canning about 2 months ago, and yes, so it's been a challenge keeping up with the tap room and some events. We had events in June and July, and then keeping up with the canning on a one barrel has proven to be a challenge. But that's what we got at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess the most common expression for things like that is that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah,
Like people, there's demand for the liquid, and you're actually out in the community and doing a lot of stuff involved in the community.
yeah,
So it's just building the brand, and I mean, you have a little bit of distro. We get some stuff. A couple other spots down by us get some stuff. So
yeah.
it's I mean, I feel like that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and it's things we do kind of open up other doors. Like we did a beer with Checker Spot for they came here and brewed a beer that we ended up doing for the fundraiser for the Ullman Foundation that Brandon Skillman was doing.
Sheer-
Yep.
So
The shear the beard thing.
yeah, so Max has ended up taking a keg of that beer, and that kind of opened up the door for us there to have some beer on draft at Max's. So that's pretty big for a tiny spot like ours.
That's huge. I mean, that's like the best beer bar in the country. So you know what I mean. And you guys like. So first of all, I have to know. I'm sure people are curious where the name came from.
Yeah, the name comes from a poem called "The Watch," and the poem is actually read at retirement funeral and retirement services now.
Right.
And the significance of that is, my son passed away back in 2017 in the USS John S. McCain accident. So that kind of led us to brewing as an activity to stay busy.
Right.
And the name comes from that poem, sort of as a tribute to him. And
all right. So that's it. Basically, the name is the brewery's a tribute to your son. Were you home brewing together, or you did it after he passed?
we started thereafter when we were looking for something really to do to stay busy. But the name, you asked about the name, right? So piping the side is actually a thing. So like when there's a position in the Navy called the bosun's mate, and they play a whistle and the song is actually called Piping the Side, and they play that whistle when a person of a leadership position moves from one ship to the next.
Okay.
So it actually is a thing in the Navy. And there's actually a position in the Navy that plays this whistle, which oddly enough, we found two of the whistles here in a local thrift shop in Hampstead, of all places.
How big are they? Just like regular whistles?
We can show you one.
Or are they like, I don't know, like.
It's a neat looking thing. It's we haven't tried to play it mainly because it's got a bunch of rust on it. And so it looks like this.
It's like Captain Von Trapp.
Oh, very cool.
So anyway. So yeah,
that's super. See, that's the backstory with breweries is always the most interesting part of breweries to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously the beer part of it is, but how they came to where they are is to me as big a part of it as probably any of it. So that's really, really pretty cool. And sorry about the loss of your son.
Nice.
How many beers do you guys have on draft normally? Your space is like wicked small, right?
Our tap room's 300 square feet. So we have 10 beers. We actually have 9 beers on draft. Right now we have a kombucha, which is made by Wild Bay Kombucha down in Baltimore.
Okay.
And, so we keep that on draft because in the fall to spring months, we actually do cider here. So we're licensed with the TTB as a winery, so that we can make cider.
Right.
But we can only get that when we can get the fresh pressed apple cider from. We use Brown's up in Loganville.
Okay. Very cool.
So 9 beers, 1 cider.
So I'm drinking the Creme Ale.
That's an old school one, Rob. That's OG.
Yeah, this is the old. Well, can't be that OG. You've only had it for like. Do you have new artwork for it? It was in my fridge.
For us, it seems like a year ago.
So this is your core beer, correct?
Yeah, we have 4 core beers that we can. We have the Creme Ale, the Rye, a New England IPA, and what was the other one? Oh, the American IPA, the Swim Call, which is just a traditional IPA.
It was like, I mean, I imagine where you're at, it's probably pretty heavy macro country. Yes, no. So I feel like the Creme Ale is probably the most popular beer by far, just because it fits that palate a lot more than most.
It's relatable.
Right.
So it sells well. We haven't had it on draft here in a while, mainly because the last time we brewed it the day that Wild Goose came to do the canning training.
Okay.
So we brewed 4 batches of it. We canned like 26 sixtels. It took forever, and we just haven't felt like brewing it since then. That's totally fair. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about your tap room and the wall behind you, which goes all the way around. Tell us the story of how that came about. I don't even know how it started.
It started with a picture.
With the
Jerry Garcia picture.
Yeah, the picture that's right in the middle is from the Merle Saunders, the Keystone recordings.
Okay.
The Merle Saunders, Jerry Garcia thing, and it's Jerry Garcia, Merle Saunders, some cops, some nuns. So we decided to get that framed, and then we just started adding other things. And
do people come in and bring random stuff for you to frame?
No.
It's all your stuff.
Mainly because we don't have room for it now. So if you get something new, it requires you to move like 10 things now.
I hate that. When my wife gets a new picture of the dogs, that's my thing. And then you got to move everything.
Yeah, it's local art. There's some art by a person Timmy went to school with. Some local photographers.
Our kids. There's some kids art on there.
Nice.
But then we started like realizing we were building this diverse collection of stuff, and by diverse I mean it represents a lot of different things, right? I mean, Harriet Tubman's mugshots on the wall. So not Harriet, Rosa Parks, sorry. But there is a picture of Harriet Tubman on the wall too. So it's like when we realized the diverse collection we were building, it just kept growing, right? Because you're like, we don't have this represented, or we don't have this, right? And it's all stuff that we like or knew or thought was cool, and it just kind of grew to be this.
And we both just started buying stuff on Etsy.
Well, let's see, we go that way. So it goes down that way. Somebody gave one of our best regulars, Jack Run, gave us a ship's wheel that we had.
I see that. Yeah, that's cool.
I think that came from his mom's house. So it's really just a representation of a lot of different things and eras, and there's a lot of history.
Found at Goodwill.
There's a lot of history on the wall.
I like the Goodwill line. That's funny.
Rob, that's true. So we had a chair break because we have old chairs, right? I mean, some of our chairs are probably 100 years old. So we had a chair break one day when we were open, and I told one customer who's also a regular, the wife now works here. I was like, I'll fix it. So I walked down to Goodwill and bought more chairs and came back.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. When you're little, you got to make everything work, right? I think that's super fun. I think that's super cool. So kudos to you guys. What do you think the role of your tap room in particular is in the community? Do you find it as a gathering spot? Have you begun to be more of a place like that where a lot of people are coming by and hanging out, and it's a lot of locals that just hang out there?
I think it's a combination, right? I think we're getting more people from outside the area that are coming in. One of our friends referred to us as people weavers.
Nice.
Meaning we bring a lot of different people together, and I think that's what's happening. And it's locals, but it's also people from outside the area and people that used to live here that have come back and said, "Oh, I didn't know Hampstead had a brewery," and then they, next thing you know, we get somebody that comes through the door the next weekend who says, "Oh, my friend came back and they said we needed to come here." So it's like I think that's what it's grown into, which is what we wanted to do.
Right. I mean, I feel like the wall sort of represents that, which is all like a mesh of different things that you're interested in. The people that are coming into there are a mesh of like different people from all over the place.
Yeah.
You got Carol's a vibe.
Maybe.
Wait. That's awesome. Speaking of vibe, you guys do like vinyl nights, right?
We
Where
only
people
do
bring their own vinyl.
Yeah, we only.
That's our music.
Yeah.
We can't have live music.
Right.
It's vinyl.
We don't have room for a live musician.
Well, still, like I feel like it's probably a pretty popular night. Yes, is it all your stuff, or do people bring stuff in?
People bring stuff in. The one night we had like 3 people show up with the same Fleetwood Mac album. There's not
nice.
other places to buy vinyl in Hampstead. So if you go to Walmart, which is the only place, unless you can hit the pharmacy. But we're a little bit limited,
right,
with vinyl shops locally.
But if people bring in records, we'll play them. Mm-hmm. And
we had an old school rap night.
Yeah, rap, jazz. We
Woodstock.
tried to do some. We were doing theme vinyl nights, and that just got to be.
That got to be not fun for us because we had to. It was like another job trying to find the
trying to piece it all together and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally see that. So it's always, the other thing about that is like, when you have a bunch of people at your house, and then like you have to keep the kind of the vibe going, and it's a lot of work, and it's more work than it should be because, like for me, I would just slap on whatever, obviously probably like a dead thing. My wife would go, "We're not listening to that. My friends don't want to listen to that." So you know what I mean. So like that vibe is hard to keep and to keep people interested. So Jimmy says you're the best, and I agree. I'm not sure I agree with that. There's a couple other things though I do want to ask you about. Speaking of bringing people back, and this is all going to tie. This question is all going to tie in. So. Is the bakery next door still there?
No, we're in the old bakery spot. We're in that
bakery spot.
Okay, so I have a friend who designs labels for Union Craft, and he does concert posters. His name is Nate Gonzalez. He lives out in California, but he does a lot of the union stuff. And he's super talented. He with the stuff he's done. I've done like these kind of interviews with him. His dad owned the bakery. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes.
It was like, so, I mean, that was, he told me that today. It was when I put this on Instagram or whatever, he was like, "Oh, that's right near my dad." Maybe he doesn't realize it's so close to his dad's bakery. It actually is his dad's bakery.
It was something else in between. Maybe
backstage bistro. It was a tax spot. There was a Statue of Liberty. Like decals stuck on the wall.
Okay.
There's like a lady on the wall, which is
cool. It's a really an odd comment. This shopping center really gets a lot of turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a small kind of a small town and stuff. So like that kind of doesn't really surprise me. But I just thought that was interesting because he does some really cool stuff. Which brings me to your labels, which I have a couple of the upcoming releases. Now, you said this is an old one, but I really like this label.
Yeah.
Who is the artist behind this? Is he a local person?
It's a gal.
Okay.
And her name is Karen.
Okay.
We met her and her wife through a guy I went to high school with, randomly. at a Christmas party.
Christmas party maybe.
Like years ago, and then when we started thinking about a direction for the beer art, she was our go-to person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does it. I like the vibe of these. It's super cool. Like, I don't know if people. This beer is called plastic. This is the Creme Ale. It's called plastic covered furniture. So, and then I've seen a couple other ones. The rye has a similar character, but like 3 or 4 versions of it or something on it, which I thought was pretty. Which I really like that artwork too. So.
Yeah,
Cool. Are you looking to like expand your artwork, like for people, or are you like happy with what she does?
We're first of all, we're super happy with what she does, and I've learned enough about Adobe Illustrator to be able to get it into what it needs to be to get printed.
Right.
So we're open to expanding.
Yeah.
If like the Pride beer that we did, that label was done by the Westminster Pride. So
that was for that beer. What style beer was that to begin with?
That was a raspberry saison.
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice. And that was for Westminster Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we took that there. We had it on draft.
They had a beer garden.
Yeah, they had a beer garden.
It was us and Maggie's.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So. When did people come by after looking for cans of it?
Yeah, we actually just sold, I think, the last 2 4-packs of it last weekend.
Nice.
But the thing now with the cans is like we're only canning probably 1 barrel now. So between the tap room and the farmers market that we do,
right,
we get rid of it. It doesn't last long enough.
Right. I mean, you guys also incorporate, like, I have the T-shirt on that Matt does, down at Boring Tie Dye. He does it. His tie dyes are killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like amazingly talented tie dyes. He does.
He was a great ad. We found him at our farmers market last year.
Mm-hmm.
He said last year was his first year as a vendor. And we bought all of our bar towels. He tie-dyes our bar towels too. Nice.
Yeah, we have a guy that helps out at the store, and he lives up in that area. And I was wearing this today, and he knows where the brewery is and stuff. And he said, "Oh, you should come to the farmers market because this guy has this huge tent, and it's all tie-dyes, and they're all super cool." And I said, "Oh yeah, his name is Matt. I'm pretty sure." Yeah. I want to say Matt Stover, and I know his last name's not Stover.
Yeah.
Kind of like Stover.
I mean, aside from doing a great job, he's also just a super great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he does. He was doing some tie dyes for like a local lacrosse league, or in memory of a coach or something. Yeah, he's like really talented. Like, but going back to the labels, that was a little diversion there because I want to give him a plug because I like his work. So this label, we're going to pop up this label. Now, let me get Jimmy off here. I haven't done this in a while. I'm like pretty rusty with actually doing this. My last one was a while ago. It's summertime. All right, so this is for a session IPA. Now, who did this label? The same woman? This is like super cool. I love the colors on it. It's super bright. What's the name of that beer?
Out of Touch.
Yeah, it has a super fun vibe to it. I'm huge into like label art now. I feel like label art is the thing now that separates breweries in a lot of ways. So if you have like a cool artist, more power to you. And there's a lot of talented people out there who are also getting into it. Yeah. And then this one. So when does this beer come out? This is an upcoming release, correct?
Out of Touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be coming. That's going to be coming out in cans in probably about 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
But we're actually taking a keg of that down to Max's I think they're going to have it on for Hop Fest.
That's right. They're doing that hop festival. Cool. Well, that's great that you guys are in there. That's huge exposure for you guys. And then there's this one that you sent me.
Oh yeah, we like that one a lot.
This one's super cool. Is this? I want to ask if it's a Halloween release because it's got that vibe.
No, so the Witch's Tree is our Kentucky Common, and which there's probably like nobody. I don't know who's canning it. Maybe us, and I know Brewery Fire can theirs, but nobody's really canning a Kentucky Common. But the tree is actually a thing in Kentucky. It's called the Witch's Tree.
Okay.
I think it's a tree that's been struck by lightning like a ton of times, and it refuses to die, and people come and hang things on it. It's kind of like a ritual type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her take on what that tree looks like.
Yeah, that's a super cool label.
Yeah.
People are going to be so. Tell us what a Kentucky Common is, because there's a lot of people people don't really. It's in that sort of realm of beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit like cream ales in a lot of ways, because people they don't have like a specific. They're not like a common style of beer, right? Like there's California Commons and there's Kentucky Commons. So tell us a little bit about that beer and that whole process.
Yeah, it's really a pre-prohibition style, and it's really a brown cream ale. So I think they were brewing it and using a lot of corn, back when corn was cheaper.
Right.
So it's sort of a cream ale that has some brown and some roasted malts in it. We put chocolate rye in ours.
Ooh.
Because we like the rye kind of spiciness.
Right.
I think chocolate rye is a little less sweet than regular chocolate malt. So,
right.
Ours is pretty much a base cream ale recipe with some chocolate rye.
So it's a different malt. It's a different malt bill, basically.
Yeah, some of the supporting malts. Yeah, it's basically a brown cream ale.
That's super cool. Like I say, you don't see a lot of those in market. There's been a few people who've done. We got some comments here, so. Oh, yeah, Greg Lee's watching us with us tonight. Y'all know Greg, right? From Inverness. You'll know him if you see him. Everybody knows him.
Admittedly.
Yeah.
He always.
Too many kids.
I'm terrible with names too, and we know that because I called Tom about 700 times.
You did, and you merged us. You merged our last name.
I merged you guys, and then I was like, well, part of it because I just had a colonoscopy and I was groggy. But that was my excuse yesterday. Today was just sheer stupidity. I'm not paying attention.
At least you gave him my name instead of giving me his name.
Yeah, people get really confused.
That a lot.
Yeah, they get confused because when we got married, she didn't take my name. We kept it the same.
Right.
Because I already had a name. I didn't need a new one.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, Greg says he's still going to make it out. When's the witch's tree being released? Couple weeks, right? Same with the
brewing it. We're brewing it tomorrow. So
is this July?
That'll be a fairly quick fermenter. So that'll probably go into cans in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, so it's not technically not a fall beer, but it's coming out around that time. So then the label's got the vibe, so it'll work for people to see it and be like, "Ooh, this is super cool."
Yeah, we don't really pay attention to the seasons of beers.
No, we had an unseasonal series.
Yeah, we started doing some fruit beers in the fall.
Winter,
yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I feel like a lot of that kind of stuff, though, is everything's merged now. Like stout season is all year. There's no real season for beer anymore. I just feel like it's just beer. So whatever comes out, people are going to be down with.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
if it's good, it's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. So I don't think people are so like hung up on seasons as much as they used to be. I mean, as a buyer, like I get a lot of people coming in the summer looking for stouts, and there's not a lot out there. Like a lot of times, things like stouts end up being more like they're not packaged as much as taproom stuff for breweries themselves. Not really for liquor stores. So there's a little bit of seasonality in liquor stores still, but in tap rooms, I think it's all bets are off for
we
styles.
have to have. I mean, the brand like right now, our tap list probably by most brewery standards would be pretty boring. Like we have a dark mild, a blonde ale, a coffee and vanilla version of the Creme Ale.
Ooh.
A Belgian strong, a brewed IPA, which I think Carroll County's keeping the brewed IPAs alive.
Yeah, for sure, because nobody does brewed IPAs.
Jesse and I really like.
You guys do one, and Brewery Fire does one.
Yeah, and we've got a red ale, a farmhouse, an English bitter, and the rye. So
that's a solid tap list, though. It sounds like a British pub, but it's not. It's a solid. But it's a solid tap list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure you get people. Well, I'm sure you get I know you get these people that come in and they're like, number one question is, what's the lightest thing you have?
Yep.
Right, and then number two is, what's the highest ABV?
Yeah.
Those are the two questions people get.
Or what has, I don't like hoppy. We get general statements. We don't even get questions.
Yeah.
We just get people making proclamations. I don't drink craft beer.
Yeah.
I don't like hoppy beers.
We had somebody tell us
I only drink seltzers.
we had somebody tell us we needed to step up our beers because we didn't have anything between 8 and 11%. And we were like, probably not gonna ever.
Yeah, right.
If we do, it's by mistake.
Definitely by mistake.
I'm more enthralled by the I only drink seltzers question. Proclamation.
Well, we get tag-alongs, right? Like people come in with somebody.
Yeah, and they don't want to drink beer.
Right, so then don't drink beer. I have beer and I have water.
And kombucha.
Yeah, we'll drink kombucha. Close enough.
Mm-hmm.
What's the ABV on the kombucha? Is it hard kombucha?
No.
It's
just regular
less
kombucha.
than 0.5%.
Yeah.
It's technically non-alcoholic.
Ah, all right. I was going to say, because hard kombucha is a thing now, too.
It's delicious, though. I mean, Wild Bay did one. We haven't put it on yet, but we bought a keg from them of a strawberry lavender that they just released.
That sounds great.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bottle of it. It's delicious.
Yeah, I would drink that. Yeah, why not?
It's good for your guts.
I've turned the corner on seltzers a little bit, not a ton. Not going to say a ton, but I've had a few that I really like, and they're a nice break, so why not?
Yeah.
You know, I've been in the beer business long enough that, I'm not going to lie, I get a little sick of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the people in the beer business way more than the beer part of the beer business. I guess that's the jaded side of when you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, we want to give another go with Tapache, which we had down at Suspended. Yeah, Suspended made Tapache. And
what's that?
What is it?
Yeah,
it's fermented pineapple. It's a fermented pineapple beverage. And it's in Mexico. It's open fermented, but it's basically the rind of the pineapple, not even the fruit. So you take the rind and the core, chop that up, put it in water with one of the unrefined sugars, and let it naturally ferment from the wild stuff on the rind of the pineapple.
Really?
It's
really good.
It's fantastic.
If you're ever at Suspended, definitely try it if it's on tap.
Yeah, I got to get down there. I'm at the point too. I'm one of these people that's like, if you guys don't have parking, I ain't coming. Because I'm one of those people. I'm not. I got enough to worry about. That I don't have to worry about where to put my freaking car. But there's a bunch of places. down that way too. There's a new one opening up soon. Jordan from Full Tilt is in Pigtown now. There's a couple pretty nice.
Yeah.
Isn't there a place called Majors or something? I think that's down in Pigtown now. So Pigtown is actually starting to become like kind of a spot.
Yeah, you probably dig the Protean record shop over there by the stadium, or up in Fed Hill.
Yeah, I would. I dig old record stores. I mean, I have a lot of CDs, but I have all my records upstairs. And when I had Sam on from Dogfish a couple weeks ago on Record Store Day, and it was primarily because they're a huge supporter of Record Store Day. And the thing about records is like the other streaming stuff, but like there's something cool about just holding the record, right? Mm-hmm. And reading the liner notes, and that whole vibe of records is what people are missing with streaming.
Well, and you're not just flipping through. You know what I mean? Right. If you're listening to your iTunes or your Spotify or whatever, if you don't like the song, you just skip it. I'm a firm believer that once you start the record, you're committed to the whole thing.
Right.
I'm not.
She's not.
I also don't always start on side A.
Yeah, I always start on side A. She sometimes goes right to B.
I go with whatever comes out on top.
Mm-hmm.
Which whatever you feel like listening to. Mm-hmm. So if it's on side B, you go that way. Do you go B to A, or if you just
sometimes
want
just B and then just back in the sleeve?
You don't play the whole album though.
No, I don't have to.
It depends.
Right.
We try to read the room on who's in here.
Yeah.
Right.
And play stuff that we think is going to appeal to who's in the space at the time. And usually we have a good variety, right? She randomly pulls records based on the colors of the spines.
Mm-hmm. Whatever my eyeballs like gravitate to first.
I give it way too much thought.
Does your Goodwill have a lot of albums?
That's like square dancing.
Yeah.
It's like
really?
Square dance calling and big brass.
Yeah, it's weird stuff.
That seems like random.
Teacher would have put on in elementary school.
That seems super random. I got to tell you guys this story. So my wife does dog agility. You probably heard the puppy, and so it's a pretty diverse group of people that take lessons at the spot she works. So there's this older gentleman. His name is Noel, and he knew that I was big. That I was a big music guy. So he brought me a bunch of albums this one time, not too long ago, actually. I don't know if I probably kept them. But, like, talk about some stuff, like, like the Three Cola guy? Those Alpine horn, albums of Alpine horn playing and stuff like that. But then it would have Cheech and Chong's album with the rolling paper in it too. Was still with the rolling paper. That might be the only one I kept. The Big Bamboo. I think that's what it's called. Actually. So. That always cracks me up because he brought me some stuff that was like, wow, it was pretty diverse and pretty interesting. So I can only imagine that the Hampstead Goodwill could be a haven for that kind of album.
They get some good stuff. We did find some brass cats. Somebody did a piece of art with some brass cats.
We found a lot of cassette tapes too for a friend that just fixed up a camper. Is that a camper sort of thing?
Oh, and it had a cassette deck in it?
Yeah, so we got her a bunch of old cassettes to mail down so she can take it on her adventures.
Yeah, we found like Luther Vandross's greatest hits, Chicago. There's always Chicago stuff down there.
Always Chicago.
Because they had like 65 albums, so it's probably.
Chicago is easy to find.
They finally used
and Air Supply. You can find Air Supply everywhere.
Yeah, remember when I was in college, we used to trade in albums. This is always the biggest scam. Next to books in college, trading your albums in was the next biggest scam because you get $1 for them. whatever, and then they would resell them for like $5. So I have a bunch like that, but I had a bunch of cassettes, but I gave those away. And I actually have a cassette player because I have this old school like 90 thing that I play my CDs on, but it was one of those things that had everything but the record player. It didn't have a record player. So I still have like, and I don't have any cassettes. I have 2 bootlegs, 2 dead bootlegs that I can play on. So I should have kept my cassettes too, because they're probably going to make a comeback, right? Albums are making a comeback, cassettes are making a comeback.
A lot of the newer music that I listen to, I mean, a lot of those bands are putting stuff out on cassettes.
Really?
I listen to a lot of pop punk music that's really stuff that I'm probably way too old to be listening to. But a lot of those groups are coming out with cassettes.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think that's cool. Wait till 8-tracks come back. You guys are too young to remember 8-tracks.
I am.
I had an
He's
8-track
not,
player.
but I am.
I remember Tim, you're not from Massachusetts, right? You're just a Red Sox fan. Okay.
No, I'm sort of an all over the place baseball fan. I like
He
players.
dabbles in baseball.
Yeah, I like players more, old school players more than teams.
All right, because there used to be this place when I was a kid too. We used to stay in this place in Massachusetts on the beach, and there was this place called Skips, and you used to go in there and they had bootleg 8-tracks. So I had a bazillion bootleg 8-tracks back in the day too. I wish I had an 8-track player, but then they used to double track and stuff, and they would sound like crap.
I had that 8-track player that had like you put the 8-track down.
Oh yeah, that Panasonic made.
Yeah, exactly. That I had that.
And it was like a red box, and it had like the top, and that's how you changed. Because remember, they were like 1, 2, 3, 4, and to change a different section of music, it would hit the top. I had one of those, and I had one of those crazy AM radios that was like a snake. Remember those?
Yeah.
It was round.
I do remember that.
We're showing our age. But that's all right. That's all right. Well, you guys have been great. You got beers coming down. What are your hours this weekend?
So we're open tomorrow 4 to 9, Friday 4 to 10. We just went to 10 o'clock on Fridays, and then Saturdays 12 to 10, and Sundays 12 to 6. And we have. I know I said our tap list is kind of boring at the moment, but I think it's cool beers. But we've got some fun stuff coming out.
I don't think it's a boring tap list. I think it's I think it's a good tap list. I think if people want change. I mean, how many places can you go with 97 hazies and 6 fruit IPAs on, right?
Well, that's what we were talking about. I mean, we were talking about seltzers before we came down here, and like beer slushies, and that's just, I don't think that's ever going to be us, right? I mean, we make beer,
right? Exactly.
So, but we've got a Grotzer coming up, which probably nobody's got a Grotzer on tap right now.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's referred to as the champagne of Poland.
Okay.
It's a light beer. It's like 3.2%, and it's brewed with 100% oak smoked wheat malt.
Ooh.
And
see, I'm a big smoke beer person. I love smoke beers, and there's not enough. In my opinion, there aren't enough smoke beers out there.
Yeah, we use a lot. We dabble with the smoked malts quite a bit. But then we've got a lemonade goza coming up because I wanted to make a goza that had kind of a fresh squeezed lemonade feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming along really well. We got another sour that's pineapple and tangerine.
Nice.
Which is tasting fantastic. And then when Carol came, I was sitting out on the deck having a hams, I think, the other night, and she's like, "What if we made a beer that tasted like Baltimore peach cake?" Because I don't even know if you know what Baltimore peach cake is, because you're not from Baltimore, but Baltimore has this weird peach dessert that they make towards the end of peach season. That's not really a cake. It's basically like a sweet dough that
Peaches
people
on top.
put peaches on top.
That would be delicious.
So
I'm all in on that.
we've turned that into a beer, and it's coming along exactly like we wanted it to. So
Were the peaches local, or did you have to use concentrate?
we don't. So we use a Raza purees, which I think they're based out of Hagerstown.
Okay.
So it's just all natural fruit puree. The problem for us is finding sizes we can use.
Right, because you're so
Yeah,
Because
we don't need a 55-gallon drum of peach puree. So
We do have local peaches, but they're for something else.
yeah, we do a peach jalapeno beer.
Ooh.
We bought two boxes of peaches from the farmers Stoker Farms out of Whitehall, and we buy local fruit where we can and stay away from the purees, but we never go with the concentrated stuff. It's just
Right.
it just doesn't taste natural to us.
Right. That peach beer sounds killer.
Yeah, we had somebody send us some samples, which we won't say who it was, but I mean, we were literally.
It burned my eyes.
Yeah, it was not good. We
Yeah.
don't.
There you go. Yeah, that peach beer sounds amazing. Like all these beers sound amazing, actually. So I'm gonna have to. I'm lazy, basically, and you guys aren't close to me, really. No offense.
No. But Rob, we do have a lot of park. So if you're worried about parking your car, the good problem we have is that there's probably 250 parking spaces here.
Mm-hmm.
The bad news is we only have about 25 seats.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm small. I'm small. I'm gonna come out. I am gonna come out. Maybe I'll come out.
And pharmacy's close to us.
Yeah, you
right.
can hit pharmacy.
I love that guy too.
Like what, 15 minutes from us?
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy.
And they're doing a lot of cool stuff.
And Inverness is right around the corner too.
Mm-hmm.
They're not too far either.
Well, that's Greg. That's Greg.
I have a question for you though.
Okay.
Does Whitey's carry hams?
Yes, but we haven't been able to get it.
Do you have the special light and the regular hams, or just the regular?
I think we just got regular hams.
Because I think they stopped making the extra special because they were diverting cans to the regular hams. That's why nobody's got the special light.
Yeah, because they've had issues on that end anyway with with all that kind of stuff. So we haven't gotten hams in forever.
How much is it when you have it?
Oh my god!
Because I'll come down.
It's like a 30-pack.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I'll give you a price, but it's probably like normal pricing of it is like whatever, $17.99 or $30 or something.
That's like my favorite beer, bro.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna convert you to a Gansett guy.
I've had that. That's not bad.
It's really good, and it's a $9.99 12-pack.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Yeah, and it's like $9.99 12-pack. And beer's delicious.
I'm a big fan of the old school regional beers.
Yeah, like the heritage brands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. That's a really good one. That does really well in all the like all the taste test stuff. Like you guys are Baltimore people, but Bo is trash now. I'm sorry, it's trash. If you're gonna drink old school like beers like that, you drink Gansett. Drink, you know what I mean?
Don't they make that shandy? They make that lemon shandy that's real tasty too, right? The lemonade stand one.
Who?
Gansett. They make that.
Yeah. From Dell's.
Yeah, Dell's. That's right.
Which is like a frozen lemonade stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they make that. They make a peach mango one now. A peach passion fruit mango, and they make a watermelon one, and then they actually make like a twisted tea thing now. That's actually not bad. All under that kind of brand, Dell's, which is a big brand in Rhode Island. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I'm a big Gansett fan, just because.
That's just in the pounders, right? That's not 12-ounce cans. That's 16 ounces.
Of what?
The Gansett.
We have 12-ounce cans. We have pounders.
All right.
I'm the Gansett king of Maryland. We just had a few months back. We just had the woman who's the head brewer there now, and I was just up there a couple weeks ago, like a month ago, and I've had a bunch of stuff. I brought back a bunch of stuff. I'll give you some of it when you come down, like a Bohemian Pilsner they do, like a dark lager they do, because they're just starting a whole program up there, that like a craft program basically, but obviously the heritage beer is the moneymaker. So. They used to do a cool series of like all Rhode Island based beers. Like, do you know what Autocrat is?
Mm-mm.
It's coffee syrup. So in Rhode Island, this is going to sound weird, but Rhode Island, they make like coffee milk. Is basically what it is. It's like putting Hershey syrup in milk, except it's Autocrat, so it's coffee.
Huh.
So they do that. So they have that comes out every fall, which is like a coffee milk stout with that company. And they used to do one that was affiliated with a donut shop not far from like kind of a landmark donut shop in Rhode Island. I don't think they do that as much anymore, but anyway. So anytime you want, I'll hook you up with the with Gansets. Right, if you can't find your hams, it's always Gansett.
I'm gonna do that because I'm also in need of a G&M crab cake. So.
All right. Well, anytime I'm there Tuesday through Saturday. You're welcome anytime. Carol, you are too. Just make a field trip. I tell you what, you make your field trip, I'll make my field trip to you guys.
All right.
But I got to find something to put on your wall. I'm going to find a Rick Burleson baseball card to put on the wall for Tim.
Yeah, Burleson or George Scott. Those were my favorites.
Ooh, I probably have both of those. All right, this is the last thing we're going to talk about. When I was a little kid, probably about 8-ish, we did a whole church thing and went to Fenway. And it was like 76 because they were playing the Brewers because it's when the Brewers had those really cool uniforms with the half yellow caps. And George Scott was still on the Red Sox at that time. He hadn't gone to the Brewers. He hit a home run when I was like probably 8. I thought it's the longest home run I've ever seen. And it probably wasn't, but I was little. So I thought it cleared the stadium. Like in right field, cleared the stadium. Like further than Ted Williams cleared the stadium. So I'll never forget that as long as I live. That George Scott home run. So,
didn't they call him Boomer? He was Boomer.
Yes, and then he went to. I can't remember if they traded him, or it was when free agency started and he signed with the Brewers for a few years. Huh. I'll have to Google it.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that I forgot Burleson did a little stint with the Orioles.
Yeah, and I think with the Angels too, right?
Yeah, he went to the Angels after the Red
because that was that. Wasn't that whole thing? There was a trade and the Red Sox were supposed to get Joe Rudy and somebody, and the trade was like Fred Wynn and Burleson and maybe one other person, and then it got nullified or something.
Yeah, there's something weird with that.
Yeah, there was something. So that was like mid-'70s. So I'm going to find one of those cards. I'm going to put it on your wall.
All right,
I probably have it right in this room because I have all kinds of crap in this room.
That'll fit.
So that's a deal. Oh, you got enough spaces. There's one right up there. I see a couple spaces at the very top. I don't know how high that is.
We don't have a ladder.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stand on Tim's shoulders.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't know how he feels about that.
We'll figure out. We'll figure it out.
We'll find out.
All right. Very cool. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on with me. This was fun. You guys are the best. Everybody loves your beers. Abby can't wait to come out for that peach beer in the lemonade goza.
Yeah, those are going to be.
She's leaving Massachusetts now just to come for that.
She's on her way.
She's on her way. So very cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. I appreciate you guys coming on with me. See you. Be safe.
Bye.
That was fun. All right, guys. The dog in the back clearly needs to go out. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see everybody soon. Tomorrow night, remember we have our friends that all collab with us on the 1623 Jagged Mountain collab. Alyssa, Zach, Amy Over from Rebels Project will all be on talking about it. We'll all be drinking it. Please join in. The raffle is still going on. 1 ticket for $5, 3 for $10. You win this cooler full of amazing things that Sandy is 1623 put together for us. So we appreciate it. We have t-shirts and we have glassware too, if you guys are interested in that. So come by the store and pick that up, and then join us tomorrow night. Have the beer with us and learn a little bit about how that came about. So appreciate you. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.